How's it going, guys? I'd like to thank you all for taking part in my program, Use Effective Study Skills, Not Study Pills. My name is Michael Lanigan, and the first thing I'm going to ask you is, who knows somebody who's actually used stimulant drugs for academic purposes? So these drugs are sometimes referred to as uppers or study pills, and a lot of people would use them for non-medical reasons, such as studying for assignments, getting their work done, and things like that in school. Non-medical use is classified by using prescription stimulants without an actual prescription. That would be getting it from a friend who has it, or possibly buying it off of somebody, which is obviously illegal. And a lot of people would turn to these drugs because they feel that their parents would be less disappointed with them in using a stimulant drug for academic purposes, and that they don't feel it really has a consequence because it's just going to help them improve their academic performance. But actually that's not really the case. Using these drugs has two different types of consequences that come off on the top of my head. First of which would be a legal consequence, which would come from, if you have a prescription, distributing it to your friends or others without a prescription, which can actually be considered illegal distribution, which can cause a legal sanction such as jail time or heavy fines. And another kind is the physical consequences. Physical can consist of elevated blood pressure, lack of sleep, lack of appetite, even stroke, and possibly at an extreme extent, death. So in that case, I'm actually going to just give you guys a little exercise that's going to help you guys try to figure out your own sense of learning styles, and that's also known as the VARC activity. It's a little questionnaire. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to fill it out, and then we're going to go over what it actually means. It's going to be like 5 minutes, basically. I'll give you.
Can I have a pencil?
I thought I gave you one, sorry. Sorry. Once you guys are done, if you get done before 5 minutes, just look up or let me know.
though too.
What is that?
My part.
Yeah, so you can tally up at the bottom. Good. Alright, so after telling all your answers up, who here was a visual learner? Oh, I didn't do that yet. I'm gonna give him one more minute, he didn't finish up actually. Sorry about that. Whoops. So, who was a visual? It's two of us. Oral or auditory? And reading and writing? And then lastly, kinesthetic, which nobody seems to be.
If I have like two of the same amount,
That means you're more of like a mixture of the two. You're not really one exact learning style. You're somewhere in between the two, or you can effectively use both. So to basically explain what each of those means, visual learners, they learn better from being able to see what they're actually trying to learn, such as seeing a diagram or a flow chart or something like that. It's more than just simply though a picture. So like, say we were writing on the board right now, you would be actively writing out and seeing the flow of the information rather than just seeing like words written on a board. So it helps you follow what you're trying to learn better. Oral and auditory, you learn better from basically hearing it. So one example would be you're talking to yourself when you're studying, going over it over again and again through repetition, or listening to like, for some people who don't read as well, they might listen to an audiobook in order to get through what they're trying to learn. Reading and writing, it's actually the most common form of learning for most people and the most preferred by students and professors, teachers, and whatnot. It's basically preference for words. Helps people just see what they're learning and go through it easier. And it's actually the most preferred method by employers. It just attributes well through the fact that they're looking for people who can read and write through processes and whatnot. And kinesthetics is just basically hands-on learning. You go better through simulation or self-experience, and those people actually prefer their own experience over that of listening to someone else's experience. So, with that being said, we're actually going to do another activity. Sorry. So that's not what I wanted, but I'm gonna skip that part and do another activity. Gonna actually, due to limited people here, preferably it was to be like groups of 3 or 4, but we're actually gonna work on our own. Gonna need to assign each one a role, and you're all gonna write down your ideas on the topic that I'll give in 1 minute. So, just gonna randomly assign it basically, but, so. Sorry guys. So for the first group would be that you're gonna try to write down, reasons why a person would actually abuse prescription stimulants, so like things that, factors that would just be more enabling or that would turn them to those things. Nate, you're gonna do, you're gonna think of and write down different methods as to how a person can prepare for exams and, you know, assignments, whatnot for class. Mike, you're gonna try to think of as many ways as you can effectively study for them. You know, different study methods, habits, skills. And lastly, Evan, you are going to think of as many positive benefits from effective time management and study skills. Yep. Do you guys each understand the role? Alright. So you're gonna for you, what you're gonna write down is if you were to effectively manage all your time, what are the most benefits you get? Would it be academic, you know, less anxiety, things like that? Does everyone else understand what I'm asking?
Yeah.
Alright.
Does it matter like how many points we give, or is it just?
No, it's just, gonna take about 3 minutes or so, then I'll cut it off and we'll all come together and discuss what we came up with.
What was mine again?
Sorry. You're gonna think of different ways that a person can prepare for an exam.
Okay.
And Mike, you're doing,
How I can effectively study?
no, you are doing, sorry guys. I'm sorry. Nate, you are doing different strategies in which person. You're doing different ways that a person can time manage, right?
Are you sure this time?
Yes.
And which one was
And you're doing the study skills.
How I can effectively study?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how I can time manage? Okay.
Yeah, different ways that a person can manage their time. Sorry about that. Confusions because we don't have a lot of people. Now what we're gonna do is actually, you're gonna all take, we're gonna come together as a group discussion, and we're gonna actually go through what we've written down and then maybe add on to together what we could use or what we think would be more effective. So for Yannick, what did you really come up with for why a person would turn to these things?
To prevent yourself from getting distracted, to stay focused, to get more work done in a shorter amount of time, to help remember important details when studying, and because they aren't getting any work done on their own, so they look for other ways that would help.
Does anyone else have any other ideas as to why someone would use them? It's actually a lot of the main reasons why a person does. A lot of surveys have shown in past studies. But a fun fact, actually, the results have also shown that people who use these drugs actually will have a lower GPA than people who don't use them, surprisingly. So Nate, what did you come up with for your part?
I said, be able to manage your priorities, track your activities, and keep like a planner or like a calendar.
Okay, yeah. Those are actually some pretty big, common things that people would use. Anyone else have any other ideas as to what would help people study or time manage? Mike?
I came up with study notes I've taken, come together with others who are also kind of studying the same topic and collaborate with what we collectively know. Watch videos / study charts on the topic, make note cards, or have someone else kind of quiz you on.
Okay, so actually, from what I caught, you have a couple different styles in there actually. That would be useful for people who are, auditory, visual, nothing really kinesthetic in there, but didn't really affect any of yous. And Evan, what did you come up with?
I said that they would get better grades, be less stressed, especially around finals. They wouldn't have to cram as much,
Right.
and they would overall have less anxiety.
Yeah, so as I was saying, a lot of people would turn to these drugs actually to decrease those kind of things. But studies have shown that it actually has the opposite effect in terms of grades, and that's because people who are using these drugs, they're using it to kind of counteract their bad study habits or their bad time management skills, because they may be going out and partying a little too much or just not giving enough time to their work, which in turn has a negative effect on their grades because now they're trying to get it all done maybe the night before, pulling an all-nighter with these drugs to try to stay awake and focus. So, sorry. Actually, that's basically that. So the last thing I'm going to ask you guys to do is, you can even do it on the same piece of paper actually. Write down sorry. So basically just write down 2 examples of study skills and time management skills that a person from each different learning style could use, and then we'll go over that and you'll just hand that to me and I'll use that for my evaluation. If you have any questions as to the different learning styles again, so you could try to think of something, just let me know. kinesthetic, so basically hands-on experience. So basically, a person prefers to experience it or go through a simulation or see a tutorial for it.
Okay, thanks.
You guys are done. You can just look up.